Hello, welcome back to Drum Forest Drum Gaming. On this week's episode of Let's Talk, we are continuing our conversation on the core Pokemon games. If you remember last time, we left off after finishing off all the Game Boy Advance games, leaving it at Fire Red and Leaf Green. And so me and Jamie are going to continue now. Please enjoy. Now we move on to the Nintendo DS, Jamie.
Yay.
We're on to the DS. Now, did you play any of the DS games?
Of course.
Like
oh no, someone took my character.
The Pokemon DS games, I meant, not just general DS games.
Well, seeing as this episode is about Pokemon, you know.
So which ones did you play?
I played... What? I played X.
That's 3DS. I'm talking DS.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking... We'll move on to X, don't you worry. We will get there, but I'm talking... DS.
I don't think I did on DS. What was on DS?
You had Diamond and Pearl, the Special Edition Platinum, and then you had Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and you also had Black and White and Black and White 2.
No, I didn't play any of them. See, I kind of skipped them ones.
That's a shame. Right, so since you didn't really play any of them, what I'll do is I'm just going to quickly run through a little bit of information about those.
Okay.
So, Diamond and Pearl, I actually found a lot of people disliked it, unfortunately. It was released in 2006 and 2007 in Europe. A lot of people disliked it, unfortunately. Some people felt the storyline was a bit slow at times. A lot of people's biggest issues was actually until you beat the Pokemon League, there were only 2 fire types available.
Alright.
One of which was the starter. So if you didn't pick the starter Pokemon, the only other fire Pokemon you could get was Ponyta, and Ponyta's not a great Pokemon.
Aww.
It looks lovely, but strength-wise, there's millions better. So a lot of people had issues due to that, which was a shame. But I really enjoyed it personally. I thought it was a really good game. I had great fun. I really enjoyed the graphics. I enjoyed the Pokemon. I enjoyed it all. Loved that game. Thought it was great. And then you had the remake. You had Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Now these are my favourite Pokemon games to date. Purely because Pokemon Gold and Silver was my favourite, and then they remade them and made them look nice.
Yeah.
And made them better, and I was just sat there I remember being told when that was released, I was just like, oh my god, yes. Like, yes. It's just like, it's my birthday all over again. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Loved those games. Loved everything about them. You got this little thing called the Poker Walker included, which I only used a little bit, but it meant like, it was like I can't remember the name of them, but you know when you walk it shakes.
Pedometer.
Pedometer, thank you. It was like that, and you could transfer your Pokemon into it so that when you're out and about, you could train up your Pokemon on this little pedometer, and you could catch other Pokemon that weren't in the game but were on the pedometer and transfer them across. So it was a little kind of cool thing. And yeah, personal achievement of mine, and I'm sure there are other people who have done it, but I loved the fact that I did this. I completed that whole game, including all 16 gyms. I beat Red, all with just 3 Pokemon.
Ooh.
Did the whole thing with just 3 Pokemon. I felt like I'd played it a lot, and I just fancied the challenge. So I was like, you know what? I'm going at this with 3 Pokemon. I went with the starter Typhlosion, because I always do, because I love him. He's one of my favourites. I then had probably my favourite Pokemon of all time, Nidoking, because he was awesome. And then my third Pokemon was a Dragonite, because, you know, it's a Dragonite. It's, you know, not much else I can say really other than it's a Dragonite. Dragonite. Gotta love a Dragonite. But yeah, so loved that game. Loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. Next one was 2010 in Japan, 2011 in Europe was Pokemon Black and White. I didn't particularly like this game, personally.
No?
No, didn't really like it. What they wanted to do was to try and make it a new feel, make it feel like a new game for experienced and new Pokemon players. What they did was, until you beat the Pokemon League, it was only new Pokemon.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, I didn't like most of the Pokemon.
Yeah.
I didn't like a lot of them, but also because they did that, it kind of actually made it feel like, because these Pokemon weren't kind of set in stone, well, they were set in stone, but because there was no other Pokemon to kind of put them against, it actually kind of made it feel like it was a rip-off game. Like someone was trying to copy Pokemon and made a load of rubbishy Pokemon kind of game. And also, another thing I disliked was it was the first game to have completely moving sprites, like constantly moving sprites. But because it was still 2D, it made it look very pixely. Really pixelated. Which I felt actually ruined it a little bit, unfortunately. It was a shame. Because I thought, you know, you've got a good idea here, but unfortunately it just didn't look as good. Didn't look as good as it should have done.
That's fair enough.
Which was a shame. It introduced three-player battles and also rotation battles, which were okay. They were average. One thing I will say about it though, the graphics of the world, like where you're running around, were amazing. There was a particular bridge called Sky Arrow Bridge. When I first went across this bridge, I was so gobsmacked by how awesome it looked, I actually ran back across it just to run across it again. Because I loved it. I thought it looked amazing. I really did. So I ran back across and then ran across it again. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
The next one and the last one for the DS, I'm going to rush through this one because I didn't really play this one, to be honest, was Pokemon Black and White 2, which was special editions of Black and White. It was the only one I didn't play. It was set in Unova region again. One of the cool things they did with it though was it was actually set 2 years after the original Black and White. So you see all the characters from the original game pop up in the world as like gym leaders and things like that.
That's pretty cool.
And also what they did was, like, so the storyline also carried on from the first game. So that was quite cool. And also they put all the original Pokemon, or a majority of the original Pokemon in the game from the start.
Yeah.
So apparently it felt more like a Pokemon game, which is cool. So I have no qualms with that one. But yeah, unfortunately that was one of the ones I didn't play. Which is a bit of a shame, because apparently it was a lot better. But okay, now I've rushed through that, sort of rushed, sorry about that. We're on to the 3DS. Talk to me, Jamie. Let's go. X and Y. Go.
I don't know what you want me to say.
What did you like about it? Just, what did you like about it? What did you dislike about anything, really?
I don't think I disliked anything. Because that was, like, obviously the first Pokemon game I'd played in a while. Because I did miss all the DS ones. So it was just good to get back into the Pokemon games, but with like the beautiful look of it now than what I was used to back when it used to play, kind of thing. Like the look of a game means a lot to me. So yeah, I just really liked that. And obviously I liked the X legendary Pokemon. Wasn't so fond of the Y one, but I liked the X one.
I liked the Y one. Well, I had Y though and you had X, so
yeah.
But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I thought the graphics was amazing. Like, they were able to finally bring in that 3D movement kind of thing to it, which was good. That's what we needed. It's what we wanted. So that was awesome. The Pokemon, they were all cool, except maybe one or two. There were maybe one or two that weren't so cool.
No, yeah, I did like the Pokemon.
But, you know, that's to be expected. Like, it's definitely... I feel it was definitely better than Black and White's Pokemon. Let me put it that way. I feel they definitely stepped up their game from Black and White, which is good. So I was happy about that. They brought in the Fairy type Pokemon.
Yay!
Yeah, see, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Why?
The problem was they brought in Fairy type Pokemon. And they made it so that Dragon was weak to Fairy. Now, I'm fine with Dragon being weak to Fairy. I get that. I understand that. But the problem was that they made so many Fairy Pokemon. Because they made a load of old Pokemon become Fairy types.
Yeah.
So something like a Clefairy is a fairy type Pokemon. Now,
Yep.
I'm fighting someone who's now got a Clefairy who is now fairy type. I forget it's a fairy type. I send out a Dragonite or a Garchomp or something like that who mainly knows dragon moves. And I think, yeah, I'm going to smash this guy. Go to use like a hench dragon attack, and then it's just like, oh yeah, no, it doesn't affect this Clefairy. And I'm kind of sat there thinking, are you serious? Like, are you actually serious? Like,
So basically, you don't like fairy types because you lose.
it ruined my dragon Pokemon. It made dragon Pokemon look pathetic.
No.
I feel it really did. Because also, for some reason, in the previous generation, that they decided to release loads of dragon Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And they made dragon Pokemon less sort of pseudo-legendary than they used to be.
Yeah, but I suppose like every Pokemon needs its weakness and stuff.
And dragon had its weakness. Dragon was weak against dragon and ice.
And now fairy.
But it was the fact that they also released a lot of dragon Pokemon and a lot of fairy Pokemon.
Yeah.
It kind of just ruined it a little bit. And also, I hate what's it called? What's the stupid thing called?
Don't say it.
What's the stupid name?
Don't say it.
Sylveon. I hate Sylveon. Stupid bow in its stupid head.
Oh, she's so pretty.
I hate her. I hate her. I hate her. I hate her. I think she's terrible.
Aww.
I'm sorry. I know you love her. I can't stand Sylveon.
Poor Sylveon.
I think she's a stupid looking Pokemon.
How dare you insult her looks?
I hate Sylveon. I hate the fairy type. But, you know, I've learned to have to deal with it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my biggest qualm about the games, was the whole fairy type thing. They brought in Mega Evolutions, though.
Yeah.
That was quite cool. I thought it was quite cool because it allowed old Pokemon to be brought to the surface again.
Mm-hmm.
Give them something to be like, oh yeah, remember Charizard, how awesome he was?
Mm-hmm.
Even though a lot of people don't use him in like competitive and stuff, but I don't play competitive really.
Yeah.
Never something I bothered getting into. I think it's one of these things that I could, because I know quite a lot. Oh my god, get out of my face! That I probably could if I wanted to, but I just saw, oh, it's too much effort.
Mm-hmm.
People take it too seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were able to go like, hey, remember Charizard? Remember how much everyone loved him?
Mm-hmm.
Now everyone can love him again and all that stuff. So I loved that. I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
And the region was quite cool. The region was good. Kalos.
Mm-hmm.
It was quite a cool little place. Like based on France. And you had Team Flare.
Yeah.
Which were weird, but oh, that's gonna kill me. How did that not kill me? Interesting. But yeah, so I liked that game. So next is penultimate one. Sorry guys, this has been a bit of a long episode today, but that's purely because it's Pokemon. There's a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
Penultimate one, Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is another one me and you played together.
Yes.
Thoughts?
I actually forgot I played that game.
You
But again, I really enjoyed that one.
I bought it for you.
Yeah, yeah.
I bought it for you and you forgot. I got it for your birthday.
I know, I completely forgot about that one. But again, that was another one that I really enjoyed. It gave me like the original feel of the Pokemon with just the new look of it. And obviously I liked the original one of it. And this one just adds to it, makes it newer.
Yeah, because I mean, it made Ruby and Sapphire, and then once again just did the massive overhaul, made it look beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And then after you beat the main game, they did the thing called the Delta episode, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Where you got Rayquaza and had the chance to catch Deoxys. Sorry about that, guys. Phone rang there. Bit annoying, but hey ho. But yeah, so the thing I loved about the Delta episode was that it opened up the fact and spoke about the fact that actually the Pokemon games were set in a multiverse, which I thought was awesome. Because obviously there were a lot of people asking the question, sort of like, well, how do you explain Mega Evolutions in the original game, in the new games, but not in the old games, and things like that. And it was just kind of like, oh yeah, no, and it actually spoke about it and was just like, yeah, no, it's a multiverse. I'm about to be blown up. I'm sorry, bro. I was trying to pick someone up.
Is there anyone through here?
No.
Get you up.
I was trying to pick someone up and I just wasn't paying attention. Never mind. So I thought that was cool. I thought that was just a cool little thing that they did. I thought, yeah, nice, like that. Yeah, I mean, other than that, there's not really much to say. Obviously, they carried on the Mega Evolutions and all that stuff, but just really enjoyed the games. Thought they were really good games, and they looked nice too.
That was scary. I walked in a whole room of people.
So we come to the final game, and that is Sun and Moon.
Yes.
Now, this is another one me and you actually played together, isn't it?
Well, you eventually went ahead, and I still have not finished it.
You've not finished it? I've completed it twice.
I know. You want to grab the hostage?
No, I want to grab this guy.
I'll protect you.
Yeah, no, I've completed it twice. Because I completed it once, and then I was like, I fancy starting with a Litten. So I did, but then I was like, do you know what I really want to do? I was like, I really want a shiny starter Pokemon. And I made the foolish decision to get myself a shiny Litten. And
yeah, you did.
Oh my god, it took so long. So long. Unbelievably long. Over 1,000 soft, I think it was 1,100 and something soft resets. And it's like a 3-minute cutscene you have to watch every single time. It was pretty horrific. But I did it, and it was awesome, and I love it, and I've still got that file save there, and it was awesome. But yeah, so that was a really cool game, like, because obviously they got rid of the whole gym aspect, didn't they?
Yeah, which I don't know if I like.
A lot of people are unsure, and I won't lie, I'm quite unsure on whether I liked it, because they were like, we do these island trials instead, and I was like, okay, fair enough. And you did, a couple of them were kind of silly, like were really easy trials, and just almost felt like chores. And then you'd fight the trial Pokemon, whatever it was called, the totem Pokemon that was just a hench Pokemon, and that was quite cool. But then you would never fight the trial leader, the trial captain, like you could do later in the game if you found them in the world somewhere, but they were really weak. So
yeah, see, I feel like it just took like the challenge out of it a bit.
Now what we'll do is we won't go into another game here. We'll I don't know how to stop the matchmaking. Okay, we'll do one more quickly then. But yeah, no, it did a bit. And then once you did all the island trials, you went and fought the island Kahuna, which was quite good. At least there was one good fight per island, you know.
Yeah.
And then it brought in Z moves, which was its kind of gimmick instead of Mega Evolutions, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was quite cool. And also it was actually within the story was the fact that the Alola Island hadn't got a Pokemon League and that it was putting one together.
Alright.
That was quite good. I quite liked that. And also it was the first game to acknowledge, like when you beat the Pokemon League, it was the first game to acknowledge that you were actually the champion.
Alright.
So that like when you actually fought the Pokemon League again and you won, at the end of it, you would actually have a challenger.
Yeah.
Who came and fought you to try and take the title of champion. And I was like, do you know what? It's those little things. And it would be a different challenger each time. There was a bunch of different challengers throughout the game who would come and challenge you.
Yeah.
And it was one of those little things that I sort of looked at and was like, that's a really nice little thing. I really like that. It kind of just... Whereas all the other games were just like, oh yeah, no. You want to be the champion? And it would just never take into the account that you were the champion. Whereas this one was just like, oh yeah, no, like we recognise that you actually are the best.
Yeah.
Have a challenger. So I really liked that. I thought that was quite cool. And I quite enjoyed the story mode. I thought the storyline was good because you had like ultra beasts and stuff, didn't you?
I didn't like the bad guys.
Which
in those
ones?
games,
There were
like
two.
Was that?
How far did you get?
Not very far.
Do you mind if I spoil it for you?
A little bit.
Okay, well, okay. I won't.
So basically, you can't tell me
I
stuff.
can't tell. Yeah, Team Skull were a bit annoying.
I didn't like. I felt they were stupid.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way they walked. I didn't really like their character design.
They were weird, weren't they? They were
It
strange.
was just silly.
But if you play a bit more, you'll see some other stuff. Finish the game, Jamie.
I'm sorry.
Finish the game.
I will.
But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long one. I do apologise. I kind of forgot how many Pokemon games there were.
Yeah.
But hey ho, never mind. I don't mind. I like the Pokemon games. But yeah, so I'd like to say thank you for Jamie for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure as always. Guys, let us know in the comments what were your favourite Pokemon games and why. Like, what stood out to you about them? It's always good to know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that one. Don't forget to give us a like, share and subscribe. That always helps out a lot. I will leave a link to Jamie's YouTube, Taco Corn, in the description below.
Woo.
And go check her out. And yeah, we'll catch you next time.
Goodbye.
Take it easy, guys.